Hi, my name is James Lindroth, and for my practice teaching video, I've decided to frame my work around Dr. Randall's study, which we read in class, entitled Creative Identity and the Ensemble Teacher/Arranger. I am Assistant Director of Bands here at the University of South Florida, and I work extensively with the University Marching Band. What I have done is I have created, in the last 2 months, 2 arrangements for the marching band to be performed at a halftime show that's specifically geared towards the group's strengths and weaknesses. So the first 2 songs that you will see are live performances that were done last week by the University Marching Band. At the conclusion of the video, I have asked for student perspectives on 3 questions. Question number 1. From the student performer perspective, is there a difference in rehearsing and performing a start chart arrangement versus an arrangement specifically written for the marching band? If so, what is that difference? Question 2, I asked, is there a difference when the specific arrangement is written by one of the ensemble directors, as opposed to an arranger that they have no communication with and is unknown to them? If so, what are those differences? Question number 3, if the student is a music education major at the University of South Florida, I ask, how has this experience changed your thoughts towards the ensemble teacher in your future practice as a music educator? I hope you will enjoy this video presentation and the student perspectives, and I will conclude with my own perspective of being the director and arranger of the experience I have had.
And band captains Aaron Monahan and Connie Sampson. Let's make some music happen with Get On Your Feet by Gloria Estefan.
Student interviews.
As a student and as a performer, I feel that there is quite a difference between playing stock charts that anybody plays and playing arrangements that are written specifically for the band. In my experience, the music that's written specifically for a band is often more enjoyable because it's written with the performers and the specific students and players in mind. And in that regard, the students take a little bit more pride and play up to that level. There are some stock charts that are very fun and are very good, but oftentimes they're either not on the correct skill level or they don't account for the individual needs of the ensemble. I think that there is a difference. I've actually had experience with directors asking me, what would you suggest putting in this part, or will the trombones be able to play a certain part? So when you know the director and you know who wrote the music, you feel a little bit more confident and in some ways more creative that you can ask or make suggestions or make some changes where necessary, or you feel that relationship to the music and to the director because they know the strengths and the weaknesses. They're able to know, can the clarinets play this fast, or can the trombones play this high, or will it be too difficult, or will it be too easy? And when you have that relationship with the director, it's often the music comes across much better because the students feel more successful because of the way that the music is written specifically for the strengths and weaknesses of the band. Yes, going into the field and teaching ensembles will be an exciting thing for me as I draw on these experiences, because I understand that as a performer now, as a college student, and my experiences in high school, that it's more enjoyable and exciting when the music is written specifically for the skill level. The ensemble feels much more successful, the students feel much more relaxed when they have a relationship with the person who wrote it. So as a teacher, from a teacher's perspective, I want to build that confidence with my students, build that relationship where they can trust me that I'm going to give them the music and the proper arrangements that will suit their skill levels and make them feel successful. So as I go, I want to give my students successful experiences and fun experiences, and I want to show them that I'm dedicated to helping them be as successful as possible.
I think it's nice to have something that's specifically written for this ensemble, just because those who wrote it know the strengths and weaknesses of this group, versus a stock chart which is written for just anybody. Well, I think it absolutely does make a difference that if your director writes something or arranges something for this particular ensemble, that the players in this group will definitely take the piece more to heart, and it brings something more than just reading notes on a page, because this is the heart and soul of your ensemble, so to speak. Well, I like the idea, and this is something that I've been toying with the majority of my collegiate career, would be to arrange things or maybe even compose things that were specifically for my band. I think it's great for the kids, and I think it's great for the person doing the writing or arranging as well.
Okay, why?
It's good practice for the band to not necessarily sight read, but read new charts once in a while, because it helps them get to know music better inside and out. And I think it's good for the teacher, professor, in that it gives them more experience in preparing things like this for them.
Yes, there's definitely a difference. When you're playing a chart that's written specifically for the band, it's usually written to the strengths of the ensemble, and so we're typically going to perform it better, and people care more about it because they know that it's written just about them.
Okay.
It does matter because usually with the directors you formed a really good relationship, but hopefully you formed a really good relationship and there's a lot of respect there, and if they're writing the music for you, they're the ones that you know that they've put in a lot of time and effort into those charts, and you don't want to disappoint them, so you hopefully will put the same amount of effort in so that it shows that you play it really well and that their efforts show through the band.
Yeah, I think so. It plays to the strengths of the band and fits their morale better. Well, that just makes it better for the group because the directors actually know, they work with the band on a regular basis, so they know what their strengths and where they shine the best at, so then they can play to the strengths of the band again, like I said before.
Okay. And is it important, do you feel, to have a relationship with that arranger?
I think so. Yeah.
And why would that be?
Well, once they write the piece, once the group has played the group, then it helps to have their advice, and see, we can make little changes here and there, that way, it fits better, it makes a better performance.
From the director perspective, I can tell you that this experience has been unique to me. I have never written for a group in which I was a director. I found that the students tended to practice more before rehearsal and after rehearsal on the arrangements which I wrote for them compared to arrangements that I had not written for them. Frequently, students came up to me and asked me if their performance of my arrangements was satisfactory to me as the composer or an arranger as opposed to the instructor, where often they would not come and ask me if their performance was satisfactory, but because I've created the piece, they wanted to please me. I also found the students enjoyed the role of coming up and having interaction with somebody who arranged music for them. And some questions that they've asked were very compositional in nature, everything from dealing with form, dealing with time constraints of the show, and other areas. I believe that this experience is both a positive one for the director and the students, and I would recommend directors that have secondary groups to go ahead and create some arrangements so the students are able to view the teacher beyond just the teacher identity and allow the director to also experience this role as a composer or an arranger or other things in the music industry that would go beyond just the teacher role. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation.